What if one of the most powerful philosophies ever created is both deeply true and fundamentally incomplete? Stoicism teaches that your suffering doesn't come from the world, but how you see it. And honestly, that's hard to argue with. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them." Think about that. Two people can go through the exact same situation, loss, failure, rejection, and one collapses while the other stands firm. Why? Because of perception. Stoicism says if you can control how you see things, you can control your life. And to a point, it's right. But here's the problem. What if the issue isn't that you're seeing things wrong? What if the problem is that you can't see clearly on your own? Because the Bible doesn't just describe people as misinformed, it describes them as blind. In the Gospel of John, light comes into the world and people don't recognize it. Not because they weren't trying hard enough, but because something deeper is wrong. And this is where it gets more interesting. Because in Christian theology, there's this idea that's sometimes called the light of Christ, or what early church fathers referred to as the sower of the word. It's the idea that every person already has a measure of the truth. A kind of baseline perception, a moral compass, a sense that some things are right and some things are wrong. Which explains why Stoicism works at all, why its insights feel so true. Because they're tapping into something real. But then there's something more, the Holy Ghost. Not just helping you think better, but helping you see reality as it actually is. Not just managing perception, but transforming it. Because let's be honest, you can tell yourself a situation isn't that bad, you can reframe it, you can reinterpret it, intellectualize it, but deep down, you still feel it. Fear doesn't disappear just because you reason with it. Anxiety doesn't vanish just because you label it. Stoicism can teach you to argue with your thoughts, but it can't guarantee that your thoughts are even true in the first place. The scriptures don't just say think better. They say fill your mind with what is true, what is light, what is from God. Because clarity isn't just a skill, it's a gift. Stoicism teaches you to see clearly. But Christianity asks a deeper question. What if clarity isn't something you can achieve, but something that you receive? If perception is how you see the world, then action is how you move through it. This is where Stoicism becomes incredibly compelling. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. No excuses, no overthinking, no endless debate, just act." And there's something deeply powerful about that. Because most people don't lack knowledge, they lack action. They know what's right, they just don't do it. And Stoicism calls that out directly. But here's the question it doesn't fully answer. If we already know what's right, why don't we do it? The Apostle Paul wrestles with this exact problem. He says, "I do not do the good I want to do." That's not ignorance, that's something deeper. There's a gap between who you are and who you know you should be, and no amount of willpower completely closes that gap. In Christian theology, this isn't just about behavior, it's about becoming. You're not just trying to act like a good person, you're in the process of becoming something eternal. A child of God growing into that identity. And that changes everything because now your actions aren't just about discipline, they're about transformation. Stoicism is about doing the right thing, Christianity is about becoming the kind of person who can't help but do it. Think about habits. You can force yourself to act a certain way for a while, but eventually you revert to who you were. So the real question isn't, what should I do? It's, who am I becoming? Because Christianity introduces something Stoicism doesn't. Grace. Not just effort, but help. Not just discipline, but change. Not just trying harder, but becoming different. Stoicism gives you a standard, but Christianity gives you the power to meet that standard. And then we come to the hardest part of life, suffering. This is where Stoicism shines the most. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle isn't the problem, it's the path. And that idea has helped people endure incredible things. Pain, loss, hardship. Because it gives suffering a kind of structure, but not necessarily meaning. And that's a massive difference. In Christian theology, opposition isn't just something to survive, it's something required. Without struggle, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no progression. But it goes even further than that. Because Christianity doesn't just say suffering has a purpose, it says you're not alone in it. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, actually not alone. The idea that Christ didn't just suffer, he understands your suffering perfectly. That whatever you're carrying has already been felt. That changes suffering. Stoicism teaches you to stand alone, unshaken. Christianity teaches that you were never alone to begin with. Because when everything falls apart, the question isn't just, can I endure this? It's, does this mean something? And if it does, if suffering can shape you, refine you, prepare you, then it's not just something to survive. It's something that can transform you. Perception, action, will. Stoicism teaches you to see clearly. But you need more than clarity. You need truth. Stoicism teaches you to act correctly. But you need more than effort. You need transformation. Stoicism teaches you to endure. But you need more than strength. You need redemption. Stoicism can make you strong, but the gospel is meant to make you new. Stoicism can make you a stronger person, but Christ will make you a new person. And I promise that as you let Christ into your life, as you receive his grace, that you will be changed.